Hello and welcome back to yet another session in our continued journey of trying to master logical reasoning and problem solving. Before starting with this session, I'm assuming that you have tried the set on your own, even struggled with it if necessary, and even if you did not get the answer, that is fine, but you have spent time trying to figure it out so that when we go to the solutions and go to the approaches and so that when we go to the solutions and approaches, it has the maximum amount of impact rather than just passively listening and watching. And even as you watch the solution, maybe stop after every hint or every step or two and then try the rest of the set on your own if you really want to work on those muscles. And even if you watch the whole solution, my suggestion is that maybe after a day's break, try the same process by yourself. Go through all the steps by yourself, see if you can figure it out or not. Because when I'm doing it on the screen and I'm going very systematically, it will look fairly easy in the end, right? But we all know that it can be quite difficult, and we might miss a step or two, and then our whole journey comes to a stop. So do repeat the process by yourself, so that finally your muscles are in good shape. So I'm assuming you have read the story. The story is fairly simple. There are two tables given. They both of the tables reflect the same data. There is a Professor Singh who has been tracking the number of visitors to his homepage. His service provider has provided him with the following data on the country of origin of the visitors and the university they belong to. So if I look at the data, I have 3 days: day one, day two, day three, and I know that and I know which country has generated how many hits on a given day. So, for example, Canada has generated 2 hits on day one, India has generated a single hit on day one, UK has generated 2 hits, and so on and so forth. And the same data is given in the form of universities. So on day one, University 1 has generated a single hit, University 8 has generated 0 hits, University 7 has generated 2 hits. So after maybe the initial round of struggling, I'll figure out that my primary challenge is to match the universities to the countries or vice versa, right? So that is my main challenge. And if I approach this challenge and I start working with day one, chances are that I will get stuck because there is a lot of data on day one. And so, for example, Canada has 2 hits. So, a very simple thought process might say that University 2 in the second table also has 2 hits. So, University 2 might be from Canada. But if you think a little deeper, these 2 hits from Canada could be a single hit from University 1 as well as University 5. So there is that problem. Plus, if I look at Canada having 2 hits and University 2 has 2 hits, University 7 also has 2 hits. So I don't know where it's going to go. So this initial shock of data can be overwhelming, and if you get stuck here, chances are that you will not even proceed in the problem further. So this is the tip for this kind of a problem or a challenge, or wherever you get stuck, change your approach, change your direction. If day one is very scary, look at day two or day three. So we will start our journey with day three, and that is our pro tip for the day. That start from where the data is limited, where it is small, where you can grasp it in your hands easily. So let's start our journeys from day three. I want to look at day three's data and start observing. On day three, the data is very limited. UK has 2 hits. And if I look at the university table, University 4 also has 2 hits. So, can I definitely conclude, and do stop and answer this question for yourself? Can I definitely say that University 4 is from UK? Yes. Why? Because University 6 is the only other university with a single hit. If University 6 is from UK, where is that other hit coming from? And then University 4 cannot be from USA because University 4 is generating 2 hits and USA has only a single hit on the last day. So, fairly easy conclusion to make in the beginning, but in case you missed that, this is the full logic involved. UK is definitely from University 4, or to say University 4 is definitely from UK. From there, going to observe USA with a single hit and matching it with University 6 should not be too much of a challenge. So I can definitely say that University 6 is from USA. I have also color coded it so that you can see which data matches with which data in the other table. So this is my day 3 observation. I want to run the same process now for day 2, because if I observe even day 2 data is also fairly limited. I look at Netherlands, it has a single hit. I look at University 3 day 2 data, it has a single hit. So I can conclude using the same logic as earlier that University 3 is definitely from Netherlands. I observe India. India has 2 hits. University 8 has 2 hits. So I can definitely conclude that University 8 is from India. So notice the difference, notice the big difference. If you start with day 3, day 2 data, you can proceed in the problem. You are getting very small answers, very small steps. And also notice that none of the steps taken so far was very difficult or involved some high level of logic. It was very, very simple deductive logic based on simple observation. Now with this some stability of data in my hands, some universities are already sorted out, I'm already feeling good about the set. Now finally I want to go to day 1 observations, and here also and here it might be slightly more difficult, but if we go slowly and step by step, we will notice that again it's not too much of a challenge. It's just the again initial shock of not getting certain or fixed answers or getting variable answers. But once you get used to that idea after like 3 4 sets, even that thought can be a beginning thought in your head that I know this is going to happen, so I should not let it throw me off or disturb me. So let's start with day 1 observation. I look at USA first because USA is already sorted for me. If I look at USA data, university number 6 is from USA, and if I look at day 1, this university has generated a single hit, and if I look at USA's data for day 1, a single hit is there. So this is again matched, and I and I can also conclude that there are no other universities from USA. U6 or university number 6 is the only university from USA. So that is done for me. Now let me look at India. India has a single hit. Some of you might have started with Netherlands, but the logic path would have been the same. I look at India. India has a single hit. I already know that University 8 is from India. But if I look at day 1 data, University 8 has 0 hits. That means this Indian hit must have come from some other university. So now can I conclude that this single hit must have come from either University 1 or University 5? Now this is where a lot of people get thrown off, because especially in our school days we are all used to very fixed determined answers. We're not used to saying that it could be U1 or U5. But the sooner you get used to this, easier your life would be. Even here you can slow down and practice your basic deductions. Can University 2 be from India? It cannot be, because University 2 has generated 2 hits and India only has a single hit. So therefore University 2 is ruled out, University 7 is ruled out, University 6 and University 4 and 3 were already ruled out belonging to other countries. U8 was also ruled out. So you are left with having U1 or U5 for India, and I have marked it by putting these two small orange boxes for University 1 and University 5. You can use this later to finally answer your questions, or you can capture it in your own format. I run the same process. I observe Canada has 2 hits on day 1. Now these 2 hits can only be from University 2 or University 7. Both of them have 2 hits outgoing. Can these 2 hits be one hit from University 1 and one hit from University 5? That thought may come into your heads, but again, run your basic deductive logic. Just in the previous step, you saw that one of these universities, 1 or 5, will definitely go to India, and therefore only one will be left. But you want overall 2 hits. Now, if you take one from here and two from the other university, it will become three. So again, it does not work for you. Therefore, you can say Canada's 2 hits must have come from either University 2 or University 7, and they cannot be one and run from University 1 and University 5, right? And hopefully we also understand the reason why. So by now the process should be slightly more convenient and familiar to you. So maybe stop right now and try and work out the rest of the process by yourself. Always try and do that for maths topics as definitely for all logical topics, because a lot of times you might not get the starting point in a problem. But once you get the starting point, at least for the rest of the problem, do put some load on your own brain, right? So I worked the process for Canada. If I notice UK will run the exactly the same process. UK has two hits. Those two hits must have come from either University 2 or University 7. And again, it cannot be 1 and 1 from U1 and U5 because one of them has already gone to India. Now I'm left with Netherlands. I notice Netherlands has a single hit. Same logic as India. It can be from either University 1 or University 5. So I have figured out almost everything. I know which are the definite answers and I know what the possibilities are for various countries. So maybe you can stop again right now and recapture the data for yourself and try the questions by yourself before watching the next part, uh, because you have worked out everything, but you still have to interpret this data according to the questions, which is not too much of a challenge, but I suggest doing it on your own again before watching the second part. So I hope at least the table is making sense and we are finally at Canada can be U2 or U7, UK can be U2 or U7, India can be U1 or U5, India is already U8, US is already U6, etc. etc. So now all you have to do is consolidate this data. The challenging part is already over. I hope you try it by yourself before watching the next part.